Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Scholars Spotlight. Got a really special guest with me today, a gentleman named Sam Whitmore. He's our under-18s manager, and he wears many more hats. So, big welcome. Good morning, Sam.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
No problem. How's things with you today?
Yeah, all good. It's a nice early start, but hopefully it'll be a good one.
So, Sam, let's get cracking, really. So, you wear more hats than the under-18s manager. So let's start with how you got into the game. How did you get into football?
It's a strange story, actually. So I was quite younger when I was about 14, 15. I was playing, doing a little bit in grassroots. My neighbour saw me and spoke to me. He says, I see you like football. I'm running a football group, which was like little mini kickers. Do you fancy coming in and helping out on one of the weekends? So I went and did that. And it was at Shore Oak Saints, which is now like Walsall Wood of what it used to be. So that was like their junior side, their junior section. And I used to do that every Saturday morning. And we used to try and produce teams for like under sevens, under eights from that Saturday morning session. And I did that for like 10 years through Walsall Wood and various different bits. And then from that, somebody that used to also help out and volunteer, Paul Glover, he used to work for the Albion Foundation, which is part of West Brom. And he used to help out and do the voluntary side and part of the disability group at West Brom. And he says, okay, I see you've got an interest in it. Do you fancy coming over and doing a little bit with us at West Brom? So I went and did that. I took an interest in sports coaching whilst I was at Wolvo Uni as well. And then from then it just kind of built and built. So I went from being disability to sport development. Now I'm in football development. I now obviously a group of or a team of people. And we go into schools, we do loads of football provision. And then from then, it was kind of like I oversaw a team at Walsall Wood for a few years. And then I did that for Sundays, did it for Saturdays. And then all of a sudden, now I'm at Floodlit and MJPL. And yeah, it's kind of took off and got loads of different things going on.
Brilliant. So there's a real breadth there across kind of youth development of things that you've seen and things that you've done at such a young age. That's amazing. So your full-time role is with West Brom, is that right?
Yeah. So I'm football development manager. So what that means is we kind of set up loads of different programs across different age groups. So I will look after children's programs from 18 months all the way up to 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds with our college programs. So it's kind of working on a football pathway and trying to get them from grassroots to more talented and gifted side of things, or anyone can participate to then go on. Maybe they get into the academy, or we'll try and see if they're the right people to go into the academy as well.
I mean, that sounds brilliant. And where was the link between the work that you do with kind of West Brom and what you did before with Walsall Wood and Chasetown? How did you first get involved with Chasetown?
So it was through Jamie Bunch, really. So funny story, I used to coach Jamie's son, Alfie, at the Saturday morning sessions. So I've known Alfie pretty much since he was 4, and now he's playing for us at under 18s at Chasetown. So I knew Jamie through that. I knew him from a little bit of work because he used to be at West Brom. And then whilst I was at Walsall Wood, and I needed a bit of a change, needed a bit of a refresh, he says, well, we're starting this new program, we're starting a new project at Chasetown. Would you be interested in coming along? And I was excited by the prospect. I knew a little bit about Chasetown. So I was like, okay, well, let's explore it. And that's kind of where we got involved. And it's been now 18 months, nearly 2 years. So
superb. And we know what's going on there is really exciting. So we're going to dig into that. First and foremost, though, massive game upcoming. So what I want to know about is why it's a massive game. What is the game? When's the game? And how can the fans get involved and support the team? So far away.
Yeah. So on Tuesday night, we've got Walsall Wood at home. So that's going to be our last Floodlit home game of the league season. So anyone can come along. We start at 7:45 kickoff. Gates usually open around about 6:30, quarter to 7. And it's a big for a reason. So we've got 3 games left. We've got Walsall Wood, we've got Brockton, and we've also got Walls Cazzies. But currently we sit top of the league, 3 points clear. So any support that the boys get through family, supporters, Chase fans, anyone else that's genuinely interested, it'll be good for the boys because they're in a good place at the minute and we're kicking on. So it'd be important if people can get down.
No, that's fantastic. So you have got your massive calendar. I have got a terrible paper-based calendar, which everybody takes the mick out of. So let's get this right then, right? So that is Tuesday, the 16th of April.
Yeah, there is a small cost, I think, off the top of my
Okay.
head. And I know Pete does all the work behind the scenes, but I think it's £3 for adults
Oh,
and
bargain,
concessions. So it's not too
bargain.
much. So
Okay.
people shoot
And
me down if I got that wrong.
all of the bar staff will literally welcome you, feed
Yeah,
you, feed you. Brilliant. Everybody's on.
yeah,
Okay, so get involved. So
brilliant.
that's Tuesday 16th. Come down and support the lads. Now, tell us a little bit more. It's been a terrific season, kind of overall, for the under 18s.
Mhm.
Talk us through the reasons behind that success, particularly in the league.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to?
I think it's been consistency for quite a lot of it. So I worked with the group, the majority of the group last year. So I did 16s at MJPL with most of the boys last year. They've had a core group of lads that have been together for years. So that's helped. But then they've also, most of them have progressed into this season. And then we've added a couple of gems. So we've had a couple of people like James that have come from a different setup, travels in, but just adds little different elements to what the group were last year. And then also we've had a couple of added older years. So although they're predominantly first years still competing at under 18s, we've added some of the second years like Joey and Kyle Lang as well. So that's added another element to the group, which has really kicked on. And that's kind of what it has been about. But we've had a good backing. We've had some good staff that have worked with us, whether that's Rob, whether it's been Jordan, who's come in from a different playing background. So it's been a really good mix, and consistency has probably been really key, in my opinion.
Very humble of you. I wanted your answer to be, when I said, what would you put the success to? Really, I wanted it to be, because I'm a great manager, I'm tactically astute, and the lads fear me. But I didn't get that. All right. So talk to me about the involvement with the rest of the club, So, we were talking to Jamie recently, assistant manager, obviously, of the first team. Do you have much engagement with the first team and the other elements of all the other kind of youth setup? Talk me how that about how that works, really.
Yeah, it's quite unique, really. Having been at different clubs and then coming to Chase, it's really well tight knit. I knew Swanee from previous clubs, being at Walsall Wood, and just knowing him in general, really. But having the first team staff around us on a regular basis, so obviously on a Thursday night we all train on the same nights, same pitch, so we're always around each other, so we're always bouncing ideas off each other. But it's probably like the fluidity of the pathway as well, really. So in terms of like myself and Mike at under 16s. So we kind of have a close relationship because a lot of the players will progress up and down. But then also we have that with the 23s in the first team. And then that really shows because we all kind of sit down. Saturday can be a bit of a nightmare, but it's great at the same time. Because
Yeah.
we know we're going to get some first team lads that might come and be with the 23s. And then that has a knock on effect of the lads that 23s might come and play for us or the opposite way. So it's kind of really fluid and making sure that we're all in conversation. We're always bouncing ideas off each other to try and push the players, push the lads individually, and also get results, essentially.
No. That sounds really interesting. So this season, what's been your own kind of personal highlight? What's been the one thing that you'll take away with you from this season and be really proud of?
It's got to be the FA Youth Cup run, I think, to be honest. Like we've done well in the FA Youth Cup in the last couple of years, but this year we went one step further. So we got through to the first round proper of the FA Youth Cup, and for people that know what the FA Youth Cup's about, it takes like 4, 5, 6 rounds to get to that point before you even do that. And then we also then got the opportunity to go and play against Walsall. So again, big name coming down. A lot of the scholar lads that are part of the Walsall setup over there, and some of them lads that we played against were playing in the first team or have been around the first team at Walsall. So for our boys to be challenged in that respect, that was really good. We didn't get through, and it was unfortunate, but we give them a really good test. At
Yeah.
half time, it was really tight. So it's credit to the boys that they went and made history. I think that was history for the club. So it was really good. That's probably a personal one.
No, that's fantastic. And from that experience, and obviously you work at Albion as well, what would you say aspirationally the difference between those levels are? So the level that we're currently at and
Mhm.
aspiring to be, and the level that those lads were at. What are the kind of key fundamental differences that you think? There are.
I think the gap's getting smaller, if you get what I mean. So
Yeah.
by producing the program that we've got and the YDP, and we're kind of making sure that we want to have the right staff around people. We want to make sure that the boys are getting similar training to what an academy looks like, or as close to it as possibly can. Obviously, we don't have the same contact time, but we want to try and get as close to it as possible. Um, but the boys that might come out of an academy or come out of a scholarship, they should be looking at going, right, where's the next place to go to? And Chasetown should be one of them places that we're having the conversation to now. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
because we've tried to make sure that the environment's right, the standard of the coaching's right. And yes, we're just trying to get as close as possible. But that's why we're getting people. So Dan Clarkson, for example, just come out of Warsaw. He was part of the FA Youth Cup run that played against us. So he's an under
okay,
16, but doing a bit of 18s. He's just come to us, and he's starting in our Floodlit games now as well. So you can see why it's quite close, because they're
yeah,
coming to us as well now. So it's probably
yeah.
credit to what's been set up, really.
No, that's fantastic. And I think you've my next question you've kind of touched on quite a bit, but we'll go over it just again. The youth development program. So we weren't going to talk about the bigger YDP thing today, but we'll touch on it here. Um, it's different to what most clubs do and how most clubs do it. Can you try and encapsulate that for us?
Yeah, so we're trying to push the standards as high as we can. So we're trying to create a pathway that is really fluid, but for the individual. So obviously we want to try and make sure that the teams are successful, they're getting results, but at the same time it is about the individual. So whether our success is not only just on the pitch of getting a result or winning the league, it's a case of can the person progress on and off the pitch. So we're making sure they're a good person, but also making sure that they're in the right places to challenge them, whether that's technically, physically, socially. So for me, success would look like Joey Buckley going and training around the first team, or it could be that I'm getting Joe Haynes as my left back as an under 18 that's been around the 23s, and he's kind of like a main figure within that group now. So that's
Yeah,
kind of what we want to try and push, and that's probably why it's different, because I think some other clubs, they do some great stuff and some great work, but sometimes it's more just team based and they stay within the team at that age group. We're trying to be
yeah.
unique and push them in between the pathway. And we're growing that now. So even better.
No, fantastic. And I think we're going to reap the rewards from that with the first team, which is the ultimate goal, of course.
Yeah.
And we're seeing kind of signs and green shoots of that already. Just in regards to feeding your under 18s,
Yeah.
for obviously this season, but also for next season, what are the kind of pathways, the individual pathways that kind of feed that? So for
Yeah.
next season and recruitment, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's been really key. So Mike, who runs the under 16s at the moment, we work really closely on trying to blood the 16s into the MJPL group, or whether it's the Floodlit side. And pretty much at every game, we've had a 16, or we've had 3 or 4 of the 16s that have either been in the squads or have played games. So Dan
Yeah,
Clarkson, prime example of that. But not just him, we've had lots of Ollie Jones, we've had Luke Taylor, we've had Fran. All of them people within the 16s have showed some really good attributes and some strong positive opportunities. We're giving them then on a regular basis. So we want to try and do it now, because if we do it now, they'll benefit from it in the future, because when they come to Floodlit, it's not just 2 years, it's almost like 3 years at that age
yeah,
group. And we did that last year. So last year with the Floodlit with my 16s, probably we had about 8 or 10 of them regularly with the 18s, because it
yeah.
was a fairly fresh setup, and most of them had come across, but they were ready for it, and it's done them massive credit this year, because look where they are now, if you get what I mean.
No,
So,
absolutely.
but not only that, I think that we've obviously got the current 16s, but during the season we always have, like, we've got a bit of a recruitment team as well. So they will go out, watch other players, and suggest maybe, is this the right place for you going into under 18s football? Just so we've got the right people on board, really.
No, that's brilliant. So I think we're going to kind of leave it there. I know you've got meetings all day today. I think the big message is Tuesday 16th
Yeah,
at home, Warsaw Wood, massive game. Get down there, support the lads, right?
yeah, absolutely. 3 games left, and the boys really want to push on. So any support, we'd truly appreciate it.
Okay, so again, Tuesday 16th, get down there. Gates will be open for about 7:15, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Top man. Well, Sam, thank you ever so much for your time. Thanks for everybody listening to Scholars Spotlight. Any questions or any requests, let us know. Have a beautiful day.